Okay, since Blackboard's not working today, I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick recording of what you need to be focusing on your D2L lesson. So today is the great debate, and you will be talking about the Nixon-Kennedy debates, opening statements. I would really recommend that you spend some time with the great debate. When you open it up, it looks like this. Spend some time, use your review tool and do some paraphrasing down the side to make sure you understand it. You might want to go through this with your learning coach to understand some of the terms, because some of the terms we don't use anymore, like Chinese communist and things like that. The Soviet Union no longer exists, so you may need to get some more information from your learning coaches about that. So make sure that you have that for you downloaded. And then the big thing to remember with the Nixon-Kennedy debates is that this was the first time debates on television were on television. I mean, they just weren't televised. Back then, they didn't understand camera angle, lighting, makeup, things like that. So people who will listen to the Kennedy-Nixon debates and didn't watch it thought one thing compared to what people who watched it thought. So hearing it and seeing it are two very different experiences, especially in the 1960s. And remember, television was in black and white back then, so there was no color. There's no way to really differentiate of much of anything. Make sure that you watch the recording on part 5. It is really interesting to look at how these candidates looked. Because it was the first one, you'll see some people who may seem very uncomfortable. Take a look at how their body language either helps their message or hurts their message. So really take a look at that part of your lesson. Okay. They did do a lot of irrelevant information. So remember, relevant means it is to the point, it is about the point, and irrelevant means you've taken a left turn somewhere and it's just not working out. Go through, after you've read it and listened to it, go through and look at some of the irrelevant information that Nixon has. Look at some of the irrelevant information that Kennedy has. Now, one of the things that you may not know is that Kennedy came from a very wealthy family and Nixon came from a very probably lower middle class to a poorer family. So a lot of this compare and contrast between the two has to do with the economics. Kennedy was a rich boy. They had a lot of money. The Kennedys still have lots and lots of money. Nixon had to get everything on his own. Nobody handed him anything. And you might want to listen to how that might affect his the way he views the issues. So Kennedy, make sure you look at his irrelevant opening statements. Do the compare and contrast of what's going on between the two. There's a lot of comparing and contrasting through here. And then take a look about Nixon's other strategies he uses. He uses a lot of examples. He uses a lot of evidence. Take a look at what he is saying there. Okay, so really for this one, it's a lot of time with the speech. You might want to listen to it or watch it a couple of times to make sure you totally understand it. Just a reminder, your 211 assignment, which is coming up next week, you will need to conduct an interview for one of your sources for your 215 paper. Remember, an expert is anybody who knows more than you do about your topic. You can use your parents as an expert, or grandparents, or aunt or uncle, older sibling. So if you have a sibling like that's in college or something that would know more about your topic than you would, you can interview that person. Please do not go onto the internet and say, hey, I need to interview somebody about my topic. That's not very safe. We want to make sure you're being safe. The other thing is, if you are going to go and interview somebody like a council member or somebody at a newspaper or something like that, make sure you take one of your parents with you, just to be on the safe side. If you have any questions about this, hopefully Blackboard is working tomorrow so we can go ahead and get that kind of taken care of. Just a reminder, we are not doing the speech part of this assignment. So the 215 is the paper, 216 is the speech. We're not doing the speech, but you do need to read the lessons about the speech because you will have quiz and test questions about that. So just read the information about it so you have that information for your quizzes and tests. Just a reminder for your argument paper, you're going to have a minimum of 2 informational sources obtained through research and then 1 interview. So you'll have 3 sources altogether. 2 can come from the internet or books or the library. 1 has to be your interview. We will go over how to do the in-text citations and the works cited page for an interview later on. So don't worry too much about that right now. You might want to just pause the video and double check to make sure you have all this, you have this information in your head, because these are the things that your argument paper is going to be need to have included on them. So please, please, please start working on this now. You already have your topic, you've done your media piece, so start working on getting your research pulled together, start getting your interview set up, and we'll talk about interviewing questions later on this week. Just a couple of reminders. I'll put that up just in case you have forgotten. That's it for today. Again, Blackboard's not working, so we're just going to do the best we can with what we got. If you have any questions, make sure you send me an email or come to live support. Bye, guys.